Billy, good morning. Welcome to ScreenJunkies Universe. It's Thursday. It's going to be a great day. Why? Because we have Danielle Radford here.
Good morning.
Yay! Dan Murrell is here.
Hello,
Spencer
hello.
Gilbert's here. We've got our coffee. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about high-paid actors, the end of sitcoms as we knew them, and the need for even more speed. Let's talk about the Forbes list of highest-paid actors. I got it right. We'll get into why they have all this money in a minute. But first, let's just talk about who's got the cash.
Philosophical question.
Why do they have all this money?
Why are you?
Number one, I think it's just like his intensely meticulous karma. Like this guy has been building up karma, I think, for the last 700 lifetimes because he has an amazing life. That's George Clooney. Has the opportunity to do good work in his career. He does good work. I don't know why I was going to go off on George Clooney, but here we go. He does good work in his career. He does good work in the world. And as a result of that thing and booze, he has $239 million last year, you guys. He has
So many million.
So many dollars.
So many dollars
In 1 year. And this is, he didn't actually have a hit movie, but he did have this business deal with Casamigo Tequila, and that's what boosted up that paycheck for last year. That's all pre-tax, so he probably only has like $120 million after that.
When you're in this tax bracket, you don't pay taxes somehow.
Strangely paid $300 million
Exactly.
after
That's the weird part. That's the part we couldn't work out. So after that, it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's sitting pretty at $119 million. He also got paid the highest sort of like pre-release dollar amounts for his movies, which means that it wasn't just even about points. It was like what he was getting just to make the movie for blockbusters like Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. After that, we have Robert Downey Jr. at $79 million, reportedly got 15 of those 79 millions just for his limited appearances in Spider-Man Homecoming. He is a master negotiator. He got well above that for Infinity War. After that, again, good negotiator with those Marvel deals. Chris Hemsworth,
The best Hollywood.
the not best Hollywood Chris at $64.5 million, but clearly a great negotiator, so good for him. We'll give him that point. You know what? Pretty soon we're going to have a scoreboard on the Chris's and why they are or are not the best Chris's. We will give you a weekly update on how they are tracking.
And it won't be arbitrary at all.
And it won't be in any way be
just
based on the
fact-based.
fact that I say it's Evans. Jackie Chan is at $45.5 million, number 5. Will
yeah.
Smith at
For
42.
movies?
That's a really good
I
question.
bet he endorses a lot of.
He is, yeah.
Well, he probably does. I'm sure he probably does way more film work overseas than he does here. But I bet he.
Because he was just in the Foreigner. Yeah.
Yeah, did he put out an album?
I bet he endorses.
Yes.
yes, he did.
He does sometimes.
Top 10, but he did get back on the list. And also, if we're keeping arbitrarily score on the Chris's, Chris Evans did make the list.
He's number
10.
5.
It says he's number
Evans is number 10 at.
She's
looking
number
at a different
9.
list,
We're
buddy.
looking at a different list than you.
Not the list I'm looking at.
Okay.
Wow,
We're looking at Forbes 2018. Jackie Chan number
That's
5.
the list I'm looking at.
Oh
Yeah.
my!
Well-
Even Forbes doesn't know
Oh, uh-oh.
what's going on.
Discrepancies.
What in the
Discrepancies in the
world?
list.
Point is, they're all
Let me
rich.
get to the bottom.
Yeah, they're
Get to the
very
bottom of the
rich.
list. They're very, very rich.
They're all stupid rich. Look out for my Patreon launching sometime next week.
Yeah, at this point, we're also like sort of splitting hairs. Like, oh, well, he's only number 7 richest guy. Like, he's not.
Although it is interesting that Clooney is double the next highest person.
Well, you want to hear also, according to the list that I am looking at, which may or may not be the list of lists. Like the Game of Games.
Yeah.
Charlie McDaniel. Look at this. Scarlett Johansson.
I have number 10 on 3 different sources, so either
Okay,
I messed up on the notes or I'm messing up Googling.
Well, either way, Scarlett Johansson, who is the highest paid actress of 2018, sits at the same amount as the number 7 actor.
There it is.
It's $40 million to the $239 million. But anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
I noticed Mila Kunis on the highest paid actresses
Yeah.
list, $16 million,
Yeah.
which is what we were talking about yesterday, why she does not need to sign on to a superhero role. She
Yeah.
doesn't want one. And she's got that syndication money.
Yeah, that's syndication
Spider
money.
Dump Me, probably. I'm sure she got paid for that movie too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think it is an interesting sort of like, what do these things mean about choices? And we talked about the actual most superior Chris Evans, who is also on the list, but not as high a number, because you know what? He's like, what do I need above $30 million? I'm going to go do some good things in the world, make some cool indie movies. That's why he's the most superior Chris. Danielle and Spencer, I'd like you to agree with that emphatically.
Well, I do agree that he's the most superior Chris. And yeah, I mean, at some point it's like, how much money do you need? But at the same point, but that's also countered by like, well, I mean, they're the people who were actually making the movies, so who else should be getting the money if not them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these things are billion-dollar franchises. That's got to go somewhere. I'd rather it go to actors, writers, directors than, you know.
It's not going to the writers.
Exactly.
Zach Stentz is at home laughing his ass off.
I said I'd rather. I'd rather go to the people who are actually making the stuff, and then or put like just an entertainment salary cap, like a NBA or NFL player, and then everything else goes to teachers, doctors.
But we should.
The infirm.
I think you're proposing a system that I would like in general terms. Danielle.
Well, see, I have flip-flopped on my Chris love, because it used to be Pratt. I used to be Pratt all day, especially Parks and Rec. That was my Chris, and Chris Evans has just really started growing on me in the last like 2 years.
I see how it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. I'm a flip. Who knows which Chris it'll be?
Okay.
I already rank the Hemsworths, and he's definitely the best of the Hemsworths. So he's already won that contest.
That's
That's no offense to the other Hemsworths.
Sorry, Liam and Luke.
He's also, by the way, he's a very high-ranking Chris.
He's a very high-ranking.
He's
Chris.
number two, but although Pine is a dark horse Chris, you know, I forgot, someone reminded me that he was in Hell or High Water, which I thought was incredible, and he's showing some more dramatic chops than just batting those baby blues.
We've gotten last week we got a whole bunch of tweets around Chris's that we haven't even begun to take into consideration in this ongoing Chris. There's Chris Christopherson.
Walken.
There's Christopher Walken. There's Chris Rock. There's a whole number of Chris's that we have to bring into the equation.
How about Christine's?
We can also include Christine's, and we probably should.
Let's do Christine with Dan, and Dan can just.
What about Kristen Bell? I mean, there's just a whole world open to us.
How about Kirsten?
Kirsten's is crossing the line.
So we have to go to Kirsty's.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Then we're lost. Then we're just evaluating humans.
Everyone doesn't even need anymore to be a Chris.
It's just a human being.
You have to keep some level of meaning to being a Chris. So, coming to you soon, again, Chris Evans, still the most superior Chris. Speaking of syndication money, Dan, which you were about a minute and a half ago, Big Bang Theory ending the season. This is via Deadline. So despite there were some remarks by CBS that it was in talks for more seasons, Warner Brothers Televisions and Chuck Lorre, who's the executive producer, announced that the comedy will end its run in May of 2019 with the upcoming 12th season. This is the longest running multi-camera series in television history, spanning 12 seasons and 279 episodes. There was a time a couple of years ago, and I don't know if this is still true, that there were nights of television that The Big Bang Theory in syndication was beating every new show on the air for network. Why are they stopping now is a question, and here's an answer. The show's original 4 are the highest paid actors on TV with paychecks around $100 million per episode. So really for Warner Brothers, now they've gone so far past, and when Billy and I were talking about this morning, the syndication mark, they are making so much money off of this show in syndication that to pay for them to continue it past these 12 seasons doesn't actually probably make a ton of business sense. And then two, who actually,
I will throw myself on the tracks for this one. So me and my ex, it was one of the only shows that we could both agree on, and it's just so easy to put on in the background that I have seen so much. I'm probably all the way caught up with Big Bang Theory through like season 8 or something like that.
Bazinga.
Yeah, like season 7 or 8, just because it was always on, always on at any point in any day when he would get home from work or I would get home from work because we worked weird schedules. Big Bang Theory was on, and it was just something easy to watch that wouldn't start an argument.
So full confession, I have never seen a full episode of Big Bang Theory all the way through. And so I feel like I have the osmosis irritation with it. And then Billy's pull quote for the show was, it doesn't deserve...
It doesn't deserve the praise or the punishment that it gets either way. I've seen every episode maybe 3 times. It's on my wife's rotation, so it's on in our house a lot. It's not that bad. It's not that good. It's
just easy.
It's low effort.
Yeah, it's just easy.
Chuck Lorre.
Have you seen it?
I've seen a sprinkling of them, and like it's all like all of his shows. Like
Bad?
I will say,
But wildly successful.
like really well crafted, but without like a stitch of originality to them. So it's like the IKEA furniture of television, like but like not even the nice IKEA furniture. It's just like the umlau plain wooden chair, where like there's an A story, there's a B story, there's a running joke. These are how each character is going to make a joke like this in every episode. Here's your chair. Here's your chair. Here's your chair. It's like assembly line comedy, like this, 2.5 Men, all of his other shows. Like, and I gotta respect the grind. He's like the Henry Ford, and yeah, it's awful for society as a whole, but it's also like filling a need for so many people.
Well, let me ask a question about society as a whole, Dan, because I feel like you're probably the best one to weigh in on that for us.
Sure.
I wonder though, because I don't, and I shouldn't have said they're bad, because I just said I didn't watch I've never seen The Big Bang Theory. Maybe I would love it.
You've seen a sitcom, right?
I've seen a sitcom.
Yeah.
I'm not generally attracted to sitcoms. That said, there are some that I really like, and when I tune into them, I think there's something to be said for formulaic television in this sense. When I tune into them, I'm tuning into them probably because I want to feel a certain thing. So when I tune into a comedy, if I tune into Sunny, I largely know what I'm going to feel after I've completed watching that episode. Like, I'll laugh, I'll feel good, I'll have those endorphins. Let me tell you about how comedies are betraying us a little bit. And I watch Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and I really love that show. It is innovative, it is smart, it is very interesting, but it was like comedy, hard left to suicide. Did not come for that.
Yeah, this last season.
This last season got so is there something to knowing what feeling you're going to walk away with after you watch a show?
Yes.
Settled.
I agree. I've tried to watch Big Bang Theory, and I've gotten to the point with multi-camera sitcoms where I don't know if it's just my taste changed or I got sort of spoiled by things like Curb Your Enthusiasm and single camera stuff, but anytime I try to get into a multi-camera sitcom now, it's way too theatrical for me. It's just so broad. I mean, just like I'm playing to the rafters, like broad. And I think I may have just gotten attuned to the different wavelength that other shows operate on. So I was never a Big Bang Theory fan. But I do think that there's an appeal to that, is, you know, tuning in and knowing that you're going to get another entry in how the mother was met, or what you know, if what sci-fi star is going to beam on for a cameo, or you're going to get a nice dose of references that are that pretend like they're obscure but are not obscure enough that people won't understand them in the mainstream audience, which I think is, from what I've seen of The Big Bang Theory, is a lot of it is just like it's so about sci-fi, but not too much about sci-fi, because that would be alienating, no pun intended. Yeah, but I think that's a function that those shows serve, which is shows like The Good Place, that are comedies, but they also go very kind of deeper into things and sort of take twists and turns. And there are shows that just want to be, I want to see the same sets and the same people and the same kind of jokes and the same, you know, situations, because that's a comfort to me, and that's fine. I think it all comes down to taste. It's what are you looking for in your television show? I'd heard that Parsons potentially had been a holdout.
So what, Young Sheldon, is that still going to be?
I'm sure it is, right?
It is. He's currently the highest paid TV actor. The rumor and innuendo is that Kaylee Cuoco was kind of the one that was holding tough on the salary negotiations. That being said, the three main actors, Johnny Galecki, Kaylee Cuoco, Jim Parsons, all took $100,000 pay cut to bring up some of the other cast members, particularly Melissa Rauch and Blossom, whose name I can't think of.
Mayim Bialik.
Also Blossom.
But even still, there's no. This isn't. I was telling Roth. There's no salary parity like the Friends cast. They don't negotiate as a cast, which just makes this even more expensive. And the reason why, a big reason why that they're going to cancel it is because they would have to do new contracts and. It's just too expensive.
Yeah.
So, weighing in on where television is going in general, because we just named, like, The Good Place is one that I'm living right now, but it is very serialized. Do we feel like the end of the serialized sitcom is imminent, that these just aren't shows that are going to be made anymore in the same way, or certainly have this kind of reach?
I don't think so.
It's
shrunken, but it'll stick around forever.
Yeah, multicams they're so easy. I mean, not easy. They're not the easiest to write. But as far as just creating something, because it's the same sets. You bring in some people to laugh at stuff. You have a warm-up comic. They are a factory. You can't just kind of chug them out. I don't think we'll see the end of them, because I feel like at least every 10 years we have a discussion, and then another thing, like another How I Met Your Mother comes out, which is huge for CBS, or a Big Bang Theory suddenly breaks through and becomes this huge monster. Like every time we're ready to say, are we going more towards single cam? Because that's actually what I prefer as well. One of these comes out and just is a juggernaut for some network.
And I think we're seeing the resurgence of multicam sitcoms because studios are bringing back multicam sitcoms that were Will and Grace. Last Man Standing with Tim Allen is coming back. Murphy Brown is coming back. Roseanne in some form, maybe. We'll see. Whatever season 2 of that or season 1 or whatever you call the
Fuller House.
Yeah, Fuller House. I think that's sort of behind is like one of the reasons that multicam sitcoms are coming back is that they're just bringing back the same multicam sitcoms that people already loved and reviving them.
And hoping that you love those too.
Hoping that you still
Is
love
there a
them.
reason that Family Matters hasn't come back? Is it just do we
I don't
do we think
know.
that he's holding out?
I don't
Reginald
know.
Val Johnson became an actual cop. So.
And Jaleel White is an adult.
But they're doing all this in the
beyond an adult man at this point.
There's a really good sitcom on
He's
that you
also
guys should
Sonic.
watch, which is called Good News. Why aren't people watching Good News? That is a great sitcom. It is
canceled.
so I know, but it was a great sitcom. Like why? It was so funny.
But it didn't have
was,
a laugh track.
No.
It wasn't a multicam.
No,
Oh, okay.
but it was really good, and I'm sad that it's canceled.
I think that was just a show you liked.
Well, but it functioned largely. It was in the same sets. It was always in the office. It was almost always.
It was 30 Rock for local news.
And it was so fantastically done. Yeah. And instead, we're just reviving every dead thing that's ever been.
No, we're doing more comedies built around a main actress that's just basically playing themselves, and no one ever laughs, but it's a comedy.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Spencer, it's like it's easy to. These things aren't easy to make. You know, I actually don't think necessarily that a formulaic comedy is easy to make. You tell me, you would make. Would you make that?
I feel like it's well, I don't know. I think that it's on the easier side of the spectrum. But
it's kind of plug and play.
Yeah, it's like they, in my time working for Tyler Perry, they gave you literally
I will never get over that
Here's
sentence.
Here's a behind the scenes about weirdly a connection between Spencer and I.
One of my first writing jobs was for the sitcom House of Pain.
Yes.
And they give you literally a story worksheet, like. When blank happens to blank, they get in a fight over blank. He goes to blank, and blank happens. Like it's that formula. So,
and then you just plug in.
And then
dialogue.
you just plug in. That's your plot, and then you just plug in like setup, punchline, setup, punchline, setup, punchline.
Mad Libs.
And it's really so. The weird connection is that one of my early jobs was working in an entertainment advertising company. So we did commercials for TV shows and features, Blu-ray features, and things like that. And we did the commercials for House of Pain.
Nice.
And so I helped produce the commercials for House of Pain, and I once reworked a Jackson 5 song into it, and I I want to apologize. I want to take this moment to apologize to
the
the
Jackson
world.
family?
The Jackson family, to the whole world. It was H.O.P.
Oh.
Funniest thing. Do you remember that one?
No, but go on.
It was bad.
Did you ever get your own episode? Like, is there written by Spencer
Yeah.
Gilbert? Oh, I have to find
this
it.
is happening.
Yeah.
You'll never guess what happens when people get trapped in an elevator together.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I
Did
had
you
to
do a
watch
bottle
these damn episodes.
Well, one story was about
Yeah.
like 2 people who had just
Yeah.
gotten in a fight in their relationship, got stuck in the elevator together. Now they got to work it out.
Wow.
Yeah, that's so weird. It's
Yeah.
such a weird. Anyway, segue. Top Gun adds some new cast members. John Hamm, Ed Harris, and Lewis Pullman have been set to join the cast of Top Gun: Maverick. It's the greatest movie of the year. Done with that title. This is in the works at Paramount. This is via Deadline. They're joining Tom Cruise, Val Kilmer, Glenn Powell, who finally made his way into the cast after being robbed of the role of Goose's son by upstarter Miles Teller. Jennifer Connelly is also in the film. Joseph Kosinski is directing, who directed, among other things, Oblivion and Tron Legacy. So this is fascinating. Anyway, Teller again is playing incorrectly casted as Maverick's former partner, Goose's son. I will say that this bold note, Billy will give us like ideas for maybe you want to hit on this topic. He goes, a lot of people were not happy with Teller as Goose's son. Like,
It was exclusively for you.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm chill about it.
By everyone, I meant Roth. I was trying to be polite.
People are saying that people aren't happy with this. Everyone's saying it. Have you guys heard this?
Do you know what's funny is that actually I saw on Twitter that our own beloved Sasha Perlraver, we had not talked about it and was equally ranty and upset about it. So great mind, Sasha. But these new cast members, did this pique your interest? John Hamm, Ed Harris, who are they playing? Are they Mavericks cohorts from the good old days?
Yeah, isn't that the plot, right? It's the next generation when Maverick's the instructor now, and I want there to be a bar piano scene with Miles Teller and his wife, who's just a drone. Just a predator drone. Wait, that's risky business. But yeah,
that's risky business. It was,
I'm excited to see how they update the exact same thing.
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone.
Yeah, if they can get Kenny Loggins still alive and kicking, he's doing great.
He'll do it
Just
for
saw him
any
in concert the other day.
Yeah.
He shows up every time Archer asks. He will definitely do this.
Yeah, I hope they do just play the song again, or just play the song again, or at least have Kenny Loggins updated. Don't do the Fall Out Boy Danger Zone cover.
No, oh God, no, please.
Or the whatever horrible idea they're dreaming up. Just
This could-
stay Loggins.
Cardi B.
Cardi B.
What if it's,
I almost had you with that. I like that.
what if it's like the slow lady version of Danger Zone?
Oh, that's gonna be the trailer. The
That's the
trailer is
trailer?
gonna be boom, 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 boom,
Like a ukulele.
boom, single piano,
Yeah.
shots of people slow motion walking on a
Spotlight on Alicia Keys.
sad Miles Teller. No, that's gonna be the trailer. I almost promise you that's gonna be the trailer. to this
We had
movie.
talked about this previously, and then it was like one lonely tear down Maverick's cheek, and then in the reflection you see Goose.
If this movie isn't fun, they've done a huge disservice to the original Top Gun.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to get teenagers to sign up for the Navy if it's too serious. You know, they got to be playing beach volleyball. They got to make it look like you started World War III, but like you want a high five afterwards. You know? That's the role of Top Gun in our world.
Yeah, and then 2 hours of sleep, and then everyone launches back again because you're endless warfare.
They start World War III at the end of Top Gun, and it's like sunset, like freeze frame.
You can be mine anytime. Great, because you're gonna have to be tomorrow. Because you'll all be fighting in perpetuity
Forever.
We have reports of a wedding in Yemen. Scramble the jets.
What's your pitch?
My pitch is just John Hamm being real hot.
All right.
Just highway to the
Solid.
John Hamm zone.
There are names I have
John
not
Hamm's
seen.
in this?
Yeah, John
Yes.
Hamm.
What?
Ed Harris.
Let me ask us all a question.
Oh, he's the first name.
And I
Wow.
want us to answer honestly. I want us all to answer honestly. What percentage of what the other people are saying would you say that you hear during an average show?
Oh, us here? I think I get at least a good 75 to 80%
I would say
of what you guys
75%.
Yeah,
75.
I think I take in a fair amount. Yeah.
I think
75 is
unfortunately
solid.
I read the same way I watch YouTube videos, which is to like skip the first 15% or 20% of everything, because
fair.
usually it takes a while to like get going. So I just skipped John Hamm's name. Started right in the middle.
He's the most important name.
Names I have not seen on this cast list. Tom Skerritt.
Yeah.
Is Billy, if he's still alive. James Tolkien, who's the I'm gonna
Nice
have
pull.
you on a cargo plane flying
I want some butts.
out of Hong Kong with rubber dog poop.
He is 87 years old and still kicking.
Is he still working?
That is a different subject. I'm not
I don't want to
100%.
pull him out of retirement. If I'm not gonna peshy him. I'm not gonna like show up at his door and like pound it down
His
until he's like,
last
yeah, whatever.
role
fine."
was 2015 in Bone Tomahawk.
Okay. He's still around.
I'm not saying this should be the stars, but I want James Tolkien,
Yeah.
Michael Ironside.
Yes.
Yes.
One scene.
Yeah.
I know that I'm always just like, don't do the same thing.
But
But at
those
the
are
same
the
time,
They can
be
I
at
wanna
the bar
see,
drinking.
They can be at the bar
Exactly.
drinking, do a little tip
Yeah.
of the cap and then move on and do your show.
Those are the cameos they won't announce. Those will be
Meg
the little
Ryan.
Easter eggs. Meg Ryan.
She's got to be in it.
She's
right?
gotta be.
If Miles Teller, if the Goose's
That's
son.
his mom.
Yeah, it's his mom, right?
You don't call your mother? I would believe that out of a Miles Teller goose.
Goose Jr.
We have a little bit of time left, and then I'm going to tell you to watch something amazing later today. So I want to hear, just because we kind of skipped past it, but the quick overview of what it was like to work for Tyler Perry.
Oh,
Like
it was
a day
weird,
in the life.
weird but fine. You know, it wasn't for very long. It was like a 3-week process of I think you go to Atlanta. You meet the writer, the head writer. They tell you how it works. You pitch some stories to Tyler and his producer, and he likes some of them, and some of the others he mimes putting shells into an imaginary shotgun as you're pitching them, and like you're pitching like but, and then he shoots them down. and then like that's the only time you see him is literally he. Because granted, he had like 5 other shows and movies at the time, so he does thumbs up, thumbs down episode ideas, but after that, he trusts his people to make it happen.
Wait, so is there an intensity there? Does he look directly into your soul when he is shooting down your ideas, or is it casually done?
Yeah, it's pretty casual.
Now,
Okay.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
How far does he take the pantomime? For example, does he like pick up the shotgun and like open it, and is he like putting cartridges
I don't think
in,
it-
and then
it
you
started
and then,
with loading.
and then you get it, and then he's like closes it and like puts it down, but then you're losing it again, so he like picks it back up and like puts
I don't
the
think there
other
was ever
cartridge
that
in,
much.
or is it just a
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little more subtle.
It was just load, cuck, shoot.
Well, I'm
That
glad
was-
that he practices good gun safety and
Yeah.
does not keep a loaded imaginary shotgun
Right.
sitting
Yeah.
around the office.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's got a lot of trigger discipline, which,
Yeah,
really,
which is
that's what we
good.
need in our
I
imaginary.
also like the efficiency of that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. When I was in that same job, the one that I was describing, we had a different client who I will not name, but it was a studio. This one, the client would send back notes on scripts with emojis. And so, like, smiley face and frowny face, I felt like was easy enough for me to decipher. But neutral face was where I got a little lost. And I learned that what you do with that kind of vagary, with that kind of like vague feedback, is you write back definitively and you say, great, we're going to do this, this, and this, and we're going to deliver it on this date, and I'll see you later. And if they don't argue, you have a deal.
And that's how movies are made.
Yeah.
And that's how movies get made. We had puppies today. Oh, don't sigh. They were bad commercials no matter what. They were always going to be bad commercials because they were for bad shows.
Oh, how dare you!
Well, I made the terrible commercials.
That was the best.
Which one's worse? I
was-
made the lowest tier version of the bad thing.
Yeah, I was 21 or whatever. I'd write whatever you wanted.
Well, you are a brilliant person that writes
you.
for Honest Trailers, which you can watch right now. You definitely should. Big Honest Trailers recently with Ryan Reynolds. You are our fearless leader in this. You can watch Honest Trailer commentaries. You can watch later today puppies, which are going to be on Movie Fights to help support. Nick Mundy is going to be there with Emma Fyffe and Mike Carlson. This is to support
Is that our only stock image of Nick?
Yeah, we have
Do you need
one
another
shot
one?
of. I think it says it all. We're very, very excited about this. This is to support Rescue LA. Sorry, thank you. I was like, best friends. Care, who is an organization I also love and support. Care Rescue LA, which is an awesome rescue organization that they do a ton of work with. Please, please, please do support them. We're gonna have puppies today. I am forcing Billy to create a little pad area for me and Lon to lie in a pile of puppies during this Movie Fights. But you should definitely check it out. I think it's gonna be a really, really, really fun show.
Good times.
Thank you for being with us today. Danielle Radford, your brilliance is always welcome.
Thank you. I'm warning you guys right now, I'm not going to be able to keep it together with them puppies.
Oh, no.
What if all of the puppies are corgis?
I can't.
Oh.
I'm going to cry.
You'll just explode.
I will explode. I will explode of happiness.
Yes. Spencer Gilbert, are you going to play with the puppies?
Yeah, I'll stop by for a little pup.
Yay! Dan Murrell, you're going to be there, man with the
dogs.
facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all love dogs, and we love you. Have a good rest of your day, except we'll see you later this afternoon again.